What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're taking a look at the High-Rise Remake. This is a full Advanced Warfare remake of the classic Modern Warfare 2 High-Rise map, and yes, in case you're wondering, you can indeed pull off that spawn snipe right there, just as I did. Got a cheeky headshot right there, which is pretty cool, and in case you're wondering, this is gameplay I got to record early. I was invited by Activision to come check out the DLC. Earlier today, I posted some gameplay of the brand new Zombies map called Carrier, and that is some really insane stuff. Definitely check that video out. I'll link it in the description, also annotate it on screen right now for you to watch, and that's some very cool Zombies gameplay. Of course, check out the Supremacy DLC, so definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it already. But today we're going to take a look at one of the more important maps in the Supremacy DLC. Of course, this DLC comes with 4 multiplayer maps, and one of them is a remake, which is actually the first for Advanced Warfare. The first 2 map packs didn't actually include any remakes. They did include new DLC weapons, but all 4 maps were completely brand new and completely new designs. But this actually includes a remake of one of our definitely fan favored maps, which is High-Rise, which is very cool. So you can see the gameplay right here, and of course this map is identical in layout and structure to the original High-Rise. They haven't changed anything, but of course they've changed the visuals, and of course it looks completely different. I think it's now set in Greece somewhere, of course set in the very future, but you've still got the helipad, you've got the tanks, you've got the cranes, which I'll go into in a second. But you can see a lot of the reminiscent areas that we can remember from the old classic High-Rise, which is very cool. I think there's 1 or 2 bots in this because the lobby wasn't quite full, so you put 1 or 2 bots in on the enemy team. So if you see one dude who's got normal name, then of course that is a bot. But of course everyone else with 2 dev and a bunch of numbers after that, they're all real actual people, YouTubers, press people. And this, of course, this is a team deathmatch, just playing on the brand new map. And you also see a little bit of gameplay kind of exploring most of this areas. I tried to kind of get a good look around most of the different parts of the map, just kind of see how it compares. And of course the most interesting part was how the spawn snipe is still the same. This part right here, you can see you can still hop up onto there and kind of walk around the cranes. It's very cool to be back there. I haven't literally been there in years since I played Modern Warfare 2, but the crane is still actually exactly the same how it used to be, and you can go all the way down it. There's the kind of connecting crane, but of course with the exosuits it makes it a lot more easier, and even still you can actually climb even higher onto the crane. You can climb up these little wires and you can go very high. You can literally look down on the entire map, which is crazy, and I really like how they left this in and didn't kind of change it. So you can actually get a very advantageous spot. It is advantageous for a little while until you shoot a couple times, and you'll see here, I managed to get a few shots off, but I wasn't really sniping all that great. I was missing a lot of shots, and but then eventually I got picked off. I think I got 1 guy, and then I walked off the back of the crane right there. But you can see a lot of the similarities, and I'm really glad they kept a lot of the original features in from the original High-Rise, including that top bit. You can actually get on the very top of the building. I didn't go there myself, but of course you can see that player right there who's just on top of that, and you can actually go up there obviously with Exo Grapple, which is also enabled for all the Supremacy DLC maps. You can actually grapple around this map, and it of course makes it very easy. You can climb around the railings, but of course the exosuits, it's very easy to kind of hop up there, which is cool to see. And in Modern Warfare 2 is really hard to actually get up there. It was quite a difficult feat to actually walk all the way around the building, but now you can kind of exo boost around, so it makes it a lot more easy. And I was sniping in this game, but I'm not really too sure why. I just thought I felt like sniping, to be honest. I did a lot of sniping back in Modern Warfare 2, and I think I sniped quite a lot on their High-Rise, so I thought I'd just do it for the sake of it. Don't really know why, to be honest. I'm not the best sniper, but I pulled off some decent shots, and of course these guys are all using barrels and stuff, so I did okay. And of course one of those guys is bots, so they're not really that amazing shots against the bots, but for the most part I did some pretty decent sniper shots. And I managed to get a paladin right here, so you'll be able to see a really cool classic throwback to some of the older kill streaks, and literally reminded me of having an 8130 in High-Rise. Gave me that exact same feel, because of course obviously the map is layout exactly the same. You got the kind of, not really many people spawn in the outsides, which kind of sucks for High-Rise. Never really been that great for a lot of aerial kill streaks, and kind of reminds me of trying to get nukes in Modern Warfare 2, and when you get your Harriers and your chopper gun or Ace-130, this reminds me exactly the same of getting Ace-130, and everyone's inside. And it's just crazy how in Advanced Warfare, so far past Modern Warfare 2, you can still get that feeling you had back during Modern Warfare 2. So it really does have that same feeling, and of course there are no windows on that side, so I didn't really get too many kills when they were all inside. But again, you can see the Paladin acts in exactly the same way that you would expect it to, and just like an Ace-130 from Modern Warfare 2. But yeah, it's a lot darker, and it seems to be a little bit smaller. Of course, there is with the exosuits. Exosuits make every map seem a lot smaller because you can boost around, you can boost forward, and of course vertically as well. It kind of makes that a lot less of an obstacle. In the older games, it was a lot more of a big deal if you were on top of if you had some verticality on people. If you were higher up, you definitely had an advantage, where in this game you can't really do that. It kind of goes along with the whole camping kind of scheme as well, because you can't really camp as much in Advanced Warfare. If you do, someone's really going to boost around to where you are, and someone's really going to out kind of maneuver you, so your camping doesn't really work out. And at the Same goes for kind of camping in very high spots. Like you'll see, you may be able to get 1 or 2 kills there, but eventually someone's going to boost around and find where you are, and it's not as hard to flush out campers and people who are staying in one position as it was in the old games, which of course has its positives and negatives. Of course, it's cool when you get to kind of flush out campers, and camping isn't really a good strategy, but of course it is a lot more difficult to maintain your streaks, because if you kind of lock down an area, of course locking down an area is the smartest way to go about doing anything in Call of Duty games, but it's definitely a lot harder to do that in Advanced Warfare. But it's a very weird kind of feeling to play on a Modern Warfare 2 map in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and as I've said before, they can bring back maps from any Call of Duty game. I'll be interested to see if they do that for DLC number 4, of course the final map pack for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I'll really interested to see if they bring back any maps. I think it's very likely they will. Not sure whether we'll get a weapon, to be honest. I was quite surprised that we didn't get one. I thought it was kind of an expected thing that we'd get a new weapon every single time, but I guess the M1 Irons was their kind of like the best thing they could do about a free DLC weapon, which was pretty cool. The M1 Irons is definitely a good weapon, but hopefully DLC 4 will expect another remake, possibly from Black Ops 1 or 2. I would definitely love to see a Black Ops 1 map remade. Even though we've got a lot of those in Black Ops 2, I would definitely love to see a Black Ops series map. So of course Sledgehammer can bring that from any Call of Duty games. Let me know in the comment section which map, if any, would you like to see brought back into DLC 4 of Advanced Warfare. I'll be interested to read those comments, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Give it a like rating if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next video.